Fatma Nezihe Araz was a Turkish writer and journalist. In addition to her 1959 bestseller On the Sense of Anatolia, she wrote several plays for television and the stage as well as 3 books about Atatürk. Early life. Araz was born on the 11th of May 1920 in Konya. She hailed from the eminent Balgazad family, renamed Araz after the surname Law. Her father, Rifat Araz, was an officer in Ziraat Bankasi and was the bank's director in Konya at the time of her birth. He would later become a member of parliament for the Republican People's Party. Her mother's name Famuse, and she was the second wife of her father. She graduated from Ankara Girls High School in 1941 and from the Department of Psychology and Philosophy in the Faculty of Language, History of Geography in Ankara University. Whilst at university, she was heavily influenced by 2 of her lecturers, Muzaffar Serif Baysoglu, who introduced the university to psychology, and Bahis Boran. She was an ardent follower of the magazine Yurt ve Dunya, and later, when they started publishing the magazine Adimlar, which was aligned with the Turkish Communist Party, she became a volunteer. Career. After she graduated, Araz became an assistant to Boran. However, when Boran was expelled from the university in 1948, Araz quit her job and was taken to Istanbul by her family, who wanted to take her away from leftist circles. The Araz family had always been religious, and Araz's father was already affiliated with the religious order headed by Kenan Rifai. By 1948, Araz had also become affiliated with this Sufi order and dropped her plans to become a scholar after meetings at Istanbul University. In 1950, she published her first book, by name Dunya, a collection of poems. In 1951, after the death of Rifai, she co-authored the book Kenan Rifai ve Yamin Chia Shreen Ajinda Musliman, like with Sami Hariverdi, Safiya Erol and Sophie Huri. In 1952, she started her career in journalism at the magazine Resimli Hayat, owned by Savket Rado. She later continued working with the same team in the magazine Hayat. In 1953, she published the book Fatih Andaruni Tarihi, a biographical work on Mehmed II in the light of her religious approach. In 1956, Araz started working in the newspaper Havadis, owned by the Democrat-aligned Bahadia Dulja. Araz was sent to Mecca to write a series of reports to gain circulation. One of the photos published was of an Arab urinating next to a wall. This was reportedly met with outrage from the visiting king of Iraq, Faisal II, and Araz was fired from the newspaper. Between 1957 and 1963, Araz worked in Yeni Sabah. In 1959, she published her book Anadolu Evliyaları, another religious work chronicling the lives of 50 saints. This book was a great commercial success and broke sales records. She published more religious books in the 1950s and 60s, and worked as a columnist in Yeni Istanbul, Milliyet and Guns. In 1973, Araz started writing TV plays. These plays were played by the duo of Yıldız Kenter and Sukran Gungor and portrayed women and men from different walks of life in the daily realities. The plays were dramas, and the themes included limits placed upon women by the society, gender roles, marital disputes and generation gap. Emotional dialogues were balanced by comical dialogues. Her first full-length play, Bozkır Güzelimesi, was staged by the State Theatres of Turkey in 1974-75, as were her later plays Oil Burn Ev Chicken, Alaka Karanlik, İmparatorniki Oglu, Balabalini Buldum, Savas Yorganu Kidinla. In 1987, she wrote the play A Fife Jale on the life of the first Turkish actress, A Fife Jale, for which she won the Best Playwright Award from the Turkish Ministry of Culture. She won the Afif Jaleh Theatre Award and Avni Dilagil Theatre Award for her work. After 1984, she prepared a show for women on TRT named Han Imlasizan Isen, which she wrote and presented. She wrote the script for the 1983 film Itiraz Furtanazi. In 1993, she published Mustafa Kemal 1000 Gun, in which she portrayed the relationship between Mustafa Kemal Atatürk and Latifa Saki. She then wrote more books on Atatürk, publishing Mustafa Kemal and Ankarazi in 1994, Mustafa Kemal and Devlet Pasazi and Berzamanla Odar Kokagtu, Adi Mustafa. In 2003, she was awarded the 2003 Burhan Felek Media Award for her work in journalism. Legacy. In 2012, a documentary about Araz was made. The documentary, named Beyond Words, was directed by Jada El-Sissa. Personal life. Araz lived in an old people's home in her last years. She suffered from Alzheimer's disease, refused to see anybody and had reportedly lost a lot of weight. Araz died in 2009.